Lynn's my cousin. I don't know if you know we're related.
Who is?
Lynn and I are related. She's going to leave her money to everything because she doesn't have any relatives, and I told her, oh, yes.
Oh, so you just became
I'm
a
a cousin. Bob Newton and I became the cousin.
Oh, my God, he's so sinful. He truly is.
Not if I cash the check quick.
Not going to happen, McKinnon.
Oh, my goodness.
In three,
3, 2.
1.
Hello and welcome to the Good Old Days, our Raynham program, focusing on the history of Raynham. Our host is Selectman Don McKinnon, who's actually playing a double role today because, Don, you're also guest.
I've been called Two-Faced.
Focusing on our very historic Board of Selectmen.
We have Mr.
And
Buckner now that he's turned 50. He can come on. Marie turned 39. She can come on.
Thank you.
Randall Buckner, who is the town's first town administrator, correct, Randy?
Correct, that is
Absolutely. Executive secretary, you started for a number of years. Do we want to say how many? Would you guess?
Well,
Estimate?
20 years.
20 years.
Yep.
And then you've been town administrator for?
About 10, 9. My math is not good, but 8.
Okay.
Oh, now you tell us the math isn't good.
Randy is the numbers person for the
Well,
town.
I know
Yeah,
the
that
math
was
for
right,
30
right.
years now.
Yeah, we'll talk about the budget later.
Yeah, right.
And
and,
he'll shine.
and Marie, the first woman to ever serve as a selectman in the town of Raynham. And Don, the longest serving.
Longest, not the oldest, because Albert was
The
in
oldest.
his 80s
Okay.
at the time when he left the board. But Albert served off and on, so probably from point beginning, he's probably beating me, but he had occasional sabbatical
Okay.
where Albert stayed
So
home
the
for a
longest
while.
continuously serving.
Yeah.
And
And Al didn't make 30. I've been 39, and because the elections in April now, they were in March. And so I already hit the 39. I'm in my 40th.
really?
I've hit the fourth
Wow.
decade. I did the same thing in teaching.
Uh-huh.
29 and 30. I like even numbers. I never can get to them.
All right. And the other member couldn't be with us today.
Joey's
Selectman
got a little
Joe
cold. He had a cold last
Pacheco.
night, and I said, "You gonna be able to do it?" And he said, "Yeah, I hope so." And then he called this afternoon, and the cold is worse. So
Okay. But Joe is the youngest person to serve
that
on the board of
this is
Selectmen.
why it is a historical board.
Mm.
And I don't think we'll ever get it again. I mean, how old was Joe? He was 12 when he was elected, I think. And
Well, you know you can't get it again because I'm the first woman,
Yeah.
so there
That's
cannot
that.
ever be
so
another
first,
first woman.
That's right.
Exactly.
So I
That's right.
sealed that one
It's over.
down.
You
I
win
s-
yours.
I did it.
If Joey stays on board,
Joey
he'll
stays
beat
on,
me.
he can beat you.
I know that, if he doesn't catch cold all day.
And Randy will be right there.
Randy is it, too. That's true. Everybody but me. I can be beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And if you beat me, though, the big thing is I'll be in Pleasant Street, so I won't worry about it.
Gosh.
All right. But Dawn, it's you're going to be. This is your last month.
That's why I
Correct.
asked that this group come on. I'm sorry Joe couldn't be with us, because I kind of wanted to say that the last meeting I have will be the Tuesday before the election, which is on the 26th or 8th, I forget.
Yeah, 28th is the election.
28th is his election, the election. And so, yeah, I kind of wanted to get us all together for old time's sake and to go over a little bit of it.
You also have, if we, including Randy, 4 people who have long histories in the town of Raynham. I mean, sometimes you have people serving that have been in town for, a few years, but obviously Dawn more than 40 years, and Marie, you've been in Raynham for many years.
Yep, I came in 1959. I started my house and technically moved in 1960 on Good Friday, I believe it was. I started the house. That's a long time ago.
Bring your ashes with you.
I did. I brought the ashes, blessed the house, and
Yeah.
went
Randy,
from
what
there.
year were
And
you
Randy,
born?
I know,
Yeah.
yes, your whole life, right?
You've been here
Randy?
your whole life.
Almost. yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
You moved from here from
Brockton. Yeah.
Brockton.
Moved in 1966. My family did. Yeah.
But what year were you born?
55.
Oh, so you, okay.
Yeah.
So you went through all the Raynham schools,
Yep.
correct?
Starting with junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that would be the junior high, which is now, Liberty, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And did you go then to BR? Was BR active at that
Yes.
time?
Yep.
What do you
see
mean, oh,
that?
yeah, you just made it.
So there's a lot of
Yes, because
history
he
in more
went- Yeah.
ways than one, Don.
Got a lot of little history around. I came to town in '61, and a lot of people said when I was elected, including myself, that I hadn't been on any other board. and therefore, where's the experience? But I'm one that sat at the town meeting and like on the back bench, if you will, and just sort of studied what was going on, and geared to different things in different towns. I visited Stoughton, I visited Marshfield, I went about prior to even running, and so sometimes if you sit back on the back bench and you watch what's going on, you can learn an awful lot. And I had an awful lot of fun as Citizen Kane, and I'm about to return, and I look at it as a promotion. I'm getting a promotion.
Scary.
That is scary.
Was there a particular issue that got you involved, Don?
Well, originally I had two issues that were there. I say Marshfield because I went down there to get the gravel removal bylaw. When the gravel removal in the town of Raynham was active, they were just pits. They were just big holes in the ground, people going by with dirt in their truck. I had one guy tell me, I'm going to lay down in front of that truck, you know. So they were all over the place. They were on Church Street. They were up on Elm Street where Bill Chick had that. This location where we are now was a gravel pit. And there was about 6 probably gravel pits that were very bad. I brought back and I wrote a law. It was defeated the first time around, passed the second time, and it's been, you know, worked on, tweaked, I guess you say, since then. But it's one that they said they couldn't make money doing it. But if you look at where the gravel pits were, this is one. How'd we do? T.L. Edwards took it under that law, growed a bunch of Christmas trees, of which Don Francis took them and sold them, I think. And then we had the one over on Church Street where John Noblin now has apartment houses. We've got John Donahue lives in the area off of Elm Street where Bill Chickering had his. So all those gravel pits are now operating. They're well cared. What it said was you're going to take it out in a structured manner, you're going to replenish, you're going to replant. Basically, it's just common sense to do it. That was one of the issues. The other was the mobile home park, but a lot of people misinterpret my mobile home stand. Mobile homes in taxes, and of course I was a fiscal conservative at the time. I was like Buckner is now, knowing numbers. And I'm looking at the numbers, and mobile home parks paid between 72 and 144 taxes a year. It was a state law. If I get into that, we'll take the whole show someday, maybe we will. I wasn't against the mobile home. I was against the numbers they were talking about because there was no structure to the number of mobile homes. Now you look at down in Middleborough, they're beginning to go crazy down there because there's mobile homes all over the place. Well, we had that situation. Well, George B. Miller, which is now the mobile home that's in, there was, of course, Shady Acres, which is still there. That would be called, I believe, a trailer park. But then Bill Chick had one up near with a gravel pit. He wanted one. I think a fellow, I don't know, Dean or something, down around, what am I saying, Hall and Dean Street down around there. There was another one going to be down there. There was about 6 mobile home parks tentatively coming in, where the current selectmen at that time disagreed with me. They thought they could regulate the number of mobile homes. We'll tell you how many we're going to put in. Well, that's were the good old days when you could do that. I said, no, you can't do it that way. You've got to structure this thing. So that was the second reason I came in, because of the structure of the mobile home park. And that's, as a matter of fact, when I was litigated by the mobile home park for keeping it open, that was one of the questions they said. If you were fighting it coming in, how come you're fighting now to keep it here? And I said, you know, it really wasn't understood at the time what my quarrel was with it, because to me, there has to be a estimated numbers of taxes coming in, apartment houses, residential home, businesses, mobile home. I was looking for that balance, and it came to pass. I'm very pleased with things the way they are now. I do believe, and you know, I don't know how Marie can't talk to this, I guess, but I do believe the trailer portion, which is I call the single family, that would be Shady Acres and Phase 1, because the mobile home park now is trailer, mobile home, manufactured homes. There are 3 different segments, and to me, the trailer should be, we should get credit for low cost. That's just my belief. That's what I believe. Now, beyond that, mobile home, manufactured home, no. No, I understand that, but I think we should have got credit for that. But that's, you know, what happened in my life, Pat, is that people who don't understand losses, they get upset with losses. Walk in my shoes. I've lost, you know, 8 out of 10 of things I've tried to do, and that's okay as long as you keep moving. And I lost on that one, and it was because, by the way, one of the reasons the people in the mobile home park aren't classified that way is, I don't blame them. They decided my business is my business. I'm not going to tell you how much I make. I'm not going to tell. So they didn't. It didn't go through, but I would have liked that.
Okay. Maria, what prompted you to get involved in selectmen? Was it an issue, or was it the fact that there was an opening on the board and we needed someone?
No, I don't believe there was an issue. When I came on board the first time, way back when.
Because this is your second time serving.
This is my second time around. When I came on board the first time, it was because I had left the employ. Remember, I worked for the town for 17, 18 years. And then I had moved on. And to be perfectly honest with you, I just missed everybody in town hall like crazy because they were all my friends. We all associated with each other. We all went out together and things like that. So I had said, no, I think I'll just run and see what happens. And as it turned out, I did win the election. And I had 2 terms then, and then was defeated on my 3rd term. And then this last time, I decided I'm going back. I think I have to go back. Finish.
We missed you.
Marie, when Marie left the town hall, there was a department head. She left that department, and I didn't know the guy could cry. He cried when she left. How am I going to get by? You remember him whining. You know? So I mean, that's how valuable she was in the town. In her defeat, it is my belief, and if people love, I love to argue campaigns. You know, I believe she got caught in the crossfire of the mobile home park. She was 3rd man in a 2-man fight because her occupation was such that she took the hit for what happened in the mobile home park at that time. It was obviously she was an employee, but she got caught in the crossfire, and then came back, of course.
Randy, what about you? What prompted you to apply for the position of town? First, it would be town
Executive Secretary. And Health Agent and Veterans Agent.
And Veterans Agent, yes. You're 3 in 1.
And crossing guard.
Crossing guard, yeah.
Well, the chance to work for the town where I grew up was just amazing. It was what an opportunity. So I had my resume in faster than you can say howdy doody. So that was it, simply it. And the nature of the job, as I said, Executive Secretary, Health Agent, what a wide range of things to work on.
So you didn't have a chance to get bored at all?
No.
Yeah.
There were multiple applicants at that time, right, Randall?
Oh,
I think there might have been 4, maybe 5 people applying at the same time. Randy went to BU, which is one of the top colleges in the country, never mind the state. But his major wasn't towards this type of work. And so what's surprised us early on is that Randy developed, and we've talked about this, Randy and I, he's developed a knack for numbers, to be able to figure out numbers. In Boston, the governor submits a budget, the House and Senate come down with another budget, and they all argue back and forth, and then they finally come down with Randy's numbers.
I don't know why they just didn't do that from the beginning.
Why don't they just
telling
give
you.
Randy a call?
And say, what do you think,
You
Randall?
realize how many man hours they'd save?
Yeah.
And one day, Dwayne Wheeler, who's chairman of finance, who's a terrific financial person, he did something in his little calculator, and he says to Randy, "Where's your calculator?" Randy said, "I don't have one." I said, "What is this? It's all up here." So I said, "How do you, where it wasn't his majors, how do you work these numbers?" But he's a magician with the numbers. There's no doubt about it. But it was funny when he comes up with a number, and Dwayne says, "How do you do that?" Randy says, "I don't. Easier than."
Oh, I just do it.
Well, Dwayne says, "Well, we agree. I just don't like it." You know, Dwayne, he wants to push the calculator. Randy's there just in his mind going around with numbers. So.
And it works.
And
it works so well.
It works, which is
so
one of the reasons he's, if not one of the top 5 administrators in the Commonwealth of Mass. There's no doubt about that. I mean, never mind his experience, but his ability to get the things done. Of all the things he's ever done, how many years you been in now?
28.
3, 4, 28 years. The one thing he loved and he and I have disagreed on this forever, and I disagree with people on this one, community preservation. And it
Oh,
was
yeah.
late getting in one time, and they thought I did it because I was against it. Randy, that was, I don't know how that happened. It was the only mistake he's ever made,
was.
getting things in. Otherwise,
Oh.
for 30-some years, it's been right on the money. And we said, how do you, but he does it. But it was so funny when he missed that one.
That wasn't
The one he really wanted.
Well, it was funny to me
Yeah.
because I said,
We
you're
didn't
not
want
going to
it."
believe when I told you who missed it, you know, and they didn't believe me when naturally I turned you in.
Of course.
And they, you know,
Don't
threw
ever-
Randall under the bus and
McKinnon will throw you under the bus
only
every
takes a
time.
minute.
Only
minute.
takes a minute.
Randy, what do you like about the job? Obviously you do, because you've,
Oh, yeah.
you know, stayed with us.
Boy, I love working with numbers, as Don indicated, and love working at Town Hall. We have great department heads, and working with them. And the Board of Selectmen, I have to say I'm proud, really proud of the board we have now and the boards that we've had. When you go to managers' meetings and you talk to other administrators about how things happen and what happens in their towns, it is just no comparison. We just we have a tradition of good government, and it seems to either have it or don't. Some towns, without naming any names, because we were talking about one earlier, some towns have a reputation for good government, some don't, and we do. And geez, I'm just proud that the Board of Selectmen that I've worked with over 28 years have always put the town first. So, and that's what makes it enjoyable to work. If you in another town where the personal agendas, it wouldn't be as much fun at all.
Definitely. Marie, what about you? You obviously enjoy being selectman.
I do. I enjoy working with people. That's why in my job also it's just people-oriented. I enjoy seeing things working right. And I think we in the town of Raynham have always strived to make things work right. We think of the people first. And I just love it. I love being in the thick of things. I like being right there to make my comments known, right or wrong, and take it then to the next step to the town meeting to have the people decide if that's what they really want or not. In fact, we just had that with this, with Gilmore Hall.
Right.
I got phone calls pro and con. What do you mean you want to do that to Gilmore Hall? What are you, crazy? We don't need that. Oh, yes, I think we do. Well, why do you think we do? And I gave my reasons why I think we do. Oh, well, all right, well, maybe you'll be right, but I'm not sure. But then you take it to the next level, the town meeting.
Right, exactly.
And you hear everybody give their opinion. And then I had people stop at my office and say, great idea having a museum. We don't have a museum. That's a wonderful idea. I said, oh, good. So half people think we're right, half people think we're wrong, and we'll let the voters decide.
Exactly.
It's a great, great forum. It truly is. I enjoy it so much.
As we've often talked on, that, you know, town meeting form of government is
I grew up
really
in a
special.
city, and I think certain communities should be cities. And but when I grew up in Woburn, Burlington, which is now huge, and I think it still may be a town because of the mall over there and all that. But we used to look at it in Winchester. It's the next town over, you know, the money town. And we used to steal the tassel off the hats on Thanksgiving Day and march back, even though we lost. But they looked better than we were, towns. And when I got down to Raynham, as I say, I sat back for almost 10 years just analyzing and studying the town as it went. It became fun. It's like a chess game, which I don't play chess.
Yeah.
But it's like that in a sense, with all the different objects moving about. If you want to get something done, it can be akin to, many of your presidents come from towns. Many of the people who are active in the White House, I've always said the two states that are the most active in politics are Texas and Massachusetts. They may not be the president, but if you watch the people getting off the plane with them, they're from Texas and Massachusetts. We have a couple from the town of Raynham that are in the White House now at this time as we speak. So it's a can-do situation. When we wanted, for example, the town hall, just to give you one of the examples, I couldn't even get that on the ballot. You know, I couldn't get it was the first time in my life that happened to be in my political life they wouldn't allow it on the ballot for me. So I went out and passed a petition. The town hall is the result of a petition, and that means it was citizen-oriented. And the two Barbers, I say Barbara Gallagher, Barbara Sleazer, they were the ones that were adamant that that building be rehabbed. Some of the professionals, sometimes professionals like to tear buildings down to build new ones. They like new ones that are shiny, you know. But others of us old-timers, don't you know, we like older buildings rehabbed. The town hall, I've never heard a bad word about it.
No.
People enjoy it. And those who said it would never pass the town meeting, and there were those who said definitely it would never pass the debt exclusion to build it, passed the town meeting, passed the debt exclusion. That's the fun of the game of it all. To me, much of it was a game, Pat, and I just enjoy it. Like I say, though, I may lose. I don't lose 8 out of 10, but I may lose a lot. But that's okay, because that's the system. And I try to tell kids, we are the last democracy. You know, we're a republic in the United States of America. We're a democracy here because the people can still go and make their voices heard. And you see sometimes people trying to pass zoning in places. It makes sense. It's logical. It's the way it should be. And two neighbors get up and they fight it. And that's the end of it.
Sure, that sometimes you know you have no idea how it's going to come out. Somebody gets up and makes a impassioned plea for something, and it completely turns around.
Yep,
so.
absolutely.
People have their say. It's a good time.
Right. Now, Randy, explain to us a little bit what your job involves.
Well, the budget is a
It's
major
huge.
part. Yeah, making sure it's balanced. That's sort of a starting point. And so this time of year, February, March, April is very busy doing that. Other than that, it's personnel dealing with policies and things, and then the board meetings, of course, every Tuesday, except in the summer, it's every other Tuesday, getting ready for those and reviewing correspondence and whatever needs to be done for those meetings to be prepared. So
And obviously, if people have questions, they call the selectman's office, and
we get a lot of questions.
yeah.
We were lucky to have Barbara Sleazer for years answering the phone. Now we've got Debbie Tanner, and who's a quick learner, and she's doing a great job too. So very
Excellent.
fortunate.
She is doing a good job. She's very perky and very pleasant to everybody that comes in. So when they walk in, if they're like, and by the time they're through with Debbie, they're walking out smiling. I mean, really, she's just got.
Put everybody in a good mood before they get to talk to Randy.
Yeah, that's right. Randy taught her to do that. Really good. It works
Marie,
out
what
well.
do you see as the role of a selectman?
Well, that's kind of a toughish question because there's so many facets to being a selectman. Obviously, as a mediator between public and town hall, and lots of times, your bylaws, trying to do the very best for the town. What else do we have as one? You know, it's so funny because you do a job, you just do it. You don't know why you're doing it you're not doing it for a reason, you're just doing the job.
But you,
But those
along
are the-
with, you know, the finance committee and so forth, take recommendations to the town meeting.
Exactly.
And then people listen because you've researched the issues and so forth.
Right, and speaking of the finance committee too, we have a terrific finance committee. They work so many hours putting together all of their budget numbers and all, and then we have our joint meeting with them, discuss everything. Yeah, we all agree, okay, then it goes back to Randy and it goes out. Works out very, very well, I think.
Don?
The board,
I'm
Go ahead.
I was going to say the board's role in appointing people to
Oh,
the
that's
finance
right, too.
committee is so important, and they always seem to pick the best candidate, and so we do, as Marie
We
said,
have
great
lucked out.
finance
Yeah,
committee,
we
board of
really have.
appeals, all of those boards are great
Yeah.
people.
And department heads, too.
Yeah, and of course, yes.
Of course, the department heads too.
Yeah, that's
we
the
have-
question. They always said that, I've always said that Raynham, it isn't lucky. Raynham is the result of structuring in a correct management way. But yet, I've been lucky, Marie's lucky, Andy's
Yeah,
lucky, because
yeah.
the people that we do pick, there's good days and bad days on selections, but right now, if you were to take the structure of the town of Raynham, the department heads we have, the people we have in the right place, it's solid. solid at this time. And
It
some of
is.
them are elders and some of them are younger, and we've got a combination of the two, and it's working out rather well, I think.
Well, you stop and think of just the last audit that we just had done. No findings. Now, how many towns can actually
Right.
stand up and say, oh,
Yeah.
we just had an audit and we had no findings? Not all of them, I'll tell you.
Probably
Not all.
very many.
And at
No,
times we've taken
no.
risks too. One of the questions at the debate last week was 2 water districts.
Yes.
But we've got water, we've got sewer
Sewer.
now, we've got the 100% sewer. So, and the risk of sewer is, as you see, a huge apartment house came in. Things can come in with sewer that you say, well, that may be a problem. And I'll tell you, you know, it's kind of sad, wealthy communities, because it almost shows the personality. The town of Raynham has the personality. When Raynham voted Phase 6 of the sewer, that was over and above quality of the people in the town of Raynham. They voted to increase their taxes on probably 80% of their houses so that the remaining 20% could complete, with the understanding that these people in the 20% voted for them for years to have sewer. So it was a complete package. But you take a risk, and you see many of these Yankee communities, I call them Yankees, I don't mean that in a negative way, I call them Yankee communities.
New term, huh?
Yeah. We'll work on that one.
Okay.
But you see these, and they vote no sewer, no water. In other words,
Yeah.
no grocery stores. Don't tell me you want to have no nothing. So they end up with, our tax is about $4,000 per year. The lowest is probably $32, $35. The highest, though, is $11,000 and $12,000 a year. You'd say, who can pay that kind of money? Rich communities that don't want anybody in, not in my backyard communities. And that's what they create. They create with no sewer, no water, no nothing, and they create the fact that nobody's going to move in. One of the problems I had with community preservation, there's a community that's trying to reduce the rate. It's 1, 2, or 3 in the community preservation taxes on your taxes. And the people for community preservation are bragging about the fact that they bought up land so that nobody can move in. Well, Middleborough and Plymouth are the 2 largest. They're 98 and 100 and some square miles. Try buying up. But that's a defensive mechanism. That's kind of sad that people, to prevent houses from being built, it's saying this right over in Bridgewater right now.
Right.
And they're getting in a squabble over it. Do you realize how many houses we can prevent being built? Hey, don't you live in a, how'd you get here? I think you live in a house. You don't live in a
You live
tent.
there.
So it
How'd you
really
get
has
here?
to be a
Right.
balancing act.
It-
And
it-
Raynham
it
obviously
really
has done
is.
a really
That's the key
good
to it
job
all.
at
But
that.
see, the rich communities don't want a balance. They just
They want it
to
one way.
Believe it
want
or
it
not,
that
we
way.
are almost out of time, but I have to
Oh.
ask you, Marie, how has it been serving with this gentleman here, Mr. McKinnon?
With
over
this
the years?
gentleman to my right, whoa, let me tell you.
one-liners.
One line, okay. It has actually been a pleasure. Don is a great guy. He really is. He's not listening, is he? I
No.
hope not.
I'm here, Marie.
He really is a great guy, and he is an educator all the way down the line, all the time. And I truly am going to miss you.
Thank
I
you.
am
I will
gonna
miss
miss
serving
you.
with you. I'm concerned about leaving Marie with somebody I don't know. Who are these 4 people?
Who are they
Who are
anyway?
these 4? You and I will see them Monday night. Who are they? Gonna sit in that chair,
We're gonna give
wrestle
him
me for the key.
last word
Yeah.
to you, Randy. You're going to miss Mr. McKinnon?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I still expect him to call me every day
Yeah.
and make me laugh, because, of course, Mr. McKinnon's sense of humor is legendary.
Yeah.
And so I'm certainly going to miss that. But as
Or
a men-
called sick humor.
But no, as a mentor, there's nobody equal to him. So I've appreciated that
Excellent,
aspect too.
excellent.
So.
Well, as he mentioned, he's still going to be,
I
citizen
told
at
Randy,
large.
poor Randy, no, I feel so, he's such a nice guy, and I really apologize. You'll see me around more now, because I want to do some chronicle history
Sure.
and in Randy's office, so the minutes
got it all.
Uh-huh.
of many of these meetings, so I will be in there.
And also, we'll be here on our Raynham cable channel doing
You and
our
I are going to
good
keep our
old days.
partnership up, we're not going anywhere.
Absolutely. And with that, we are just about out of time. So we thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank all of you for being with us as well. We'll see you here in our next episode of The Good Old Days.
Da, 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 da. That cheapskate won't buy the record. Da, 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 da.
All right.
Those were